Hey guys, Shelemental here. The Alliance and the Horde, two different factions with two completely different mindsets on each other and everything else. This video we will attempt to discuss on which one you should roll in World of Warcraft. Now before we begin, I would like to personally apologize for the upload schedule over the past few days. Last week I had to complete like 11 or 12 different finals for my school and the videos just completely slipped my mind, and that's 100% my fault. That's the first time I've ever missed an upload during my YouTube career, I guess you can call it, or channel's career, and I promise I will not miss an upload anytime soon. I'll do my best to always get them on time and stuff, and I am truly sorry about that. With that out of the way, let's get right into the video. The appearance on a faction is the first thing you should be considering when re-rolling a faction in World of Warcraft. It's the visuals you'll be seeing for all the time on that faction. The Horde has a theme of black and red with many spikes in their armor, buildings, ships, while the Alliance tends to go for a smoother blue and gold theme throughout their architecture. The Horde makes everything look as though it's ready for war, but the Alliance tends to go for a more simplistic and useful look.
I need you. Now I'm finally right here with you.
Races in a faction are important to think about so you know what you appear like in game and what fellow faces you have in your faction. The Horde is composed of the Pandaren, the Goblin, the Blood Elf, the Orc, the Tauren, the Troll, and the Undead. The Alliance is composed of the Pandaren, the Worgen, the Draenei, the Dwarf, the Gnome, the Human, and the Night Elf. Pandaren is currently the only one that's split among the two factions, so the rest are faction specific, and the Horde is mainly made up of misfit type races, while the Alliance stands strong under one unified force. Oftentimes, races within the faction will have minor quarrels with one another, like the Worgen, the Undead, or the Blood Elf and the Night Elf, so maybe it's worth even researching that. The leveling areas of a faction should play a key part in your decision, as they're the areas of your map you yourself as a member of the Alliance or the Horde will be visiting. If you want to level in Westfall, for example, and you don't know which faction to choose, it's worth checking online to see that only Alliance can level there, not Horde. The Alliance control the Elwyn Forest, Dunmoreau, Teldrassil, Westfall, Loch Modan, and Bloodmist Isle for starting areas, while the Horde controls Durotar, Mulgore, Tearsfall Glades, Eversong Woods, Northern Baird, Silverpine Forest, and Ajara, and also the Ghostlands. The rest of the zones are mainly up for grabs for either faction, they both can level there, but if you want to level in either one of the specific ones, there you go. Lore is something to definitely keep in mind while picking your faction. To learn about the complete story of Warcraft, go check out Novel87's channel. He makes excellent and in-depth videos on all things Warcraft lore. In short, the Orcs came through the Dark Portal with the help of the Demon Gul'dan and Medivh. They then raided human settlements but were eventually imprisoned by humans. The Orc Thrall then escaped from his prison, Durnhold's Keep, and set off with other Orcs to Kalimdor. The Horde was then established in the Barrens. It later welcomes races like the Tauren and Blood Elves, and even later the Goblins and Undead. The Alliance had no trust in these races banding together, so the humans, Night Elves, Dwarves, and such made a treaty of sorts called the Alliance. Both factions sometimes have trouble brewing amongst themselves, but have kept together to date. The ideology is the basic ideas that a faction is built upon. This really isn't too important to consider, but it's nice to have in the back of your mind. Every person can interpret either faction however they want, but it's basically saying how you think each faction is meant to be viewed as. I see the Horde as a bit of misfits fighting for what they believe is right. Often viewed as villains, the Horde sometimes just wants a chance to live in peace, but are forced into war due to other things than Azeroth, whether it be demons or the Alliance. The Alliance, however, fights for control and power and would prefer a unified and simpler force in Azeroth. As you can see, both factions believe in completely separate things, but feel free to interpret them however you want. Usually look past. When I pick a faction, I like to think about the members that are memorable and significant for the faction. The Horde have Thrall, Sylvanas, until recently Vol'jin, with many ranks of Horde soldiers. The Alliance have Anduin Wrynn, Genn Greymane, until recently Varian Wrynn, with many ranks of Alliance soldiers. Many heroes in Azeroth tend to be neutral, such as Khadgar and Malfurion, but it's important to think about who you'd be fighting along on your faction. This final point is really profound for hardcore type players, and that's seeing which faction on your server is best for PvP or raiding. Often people join a faction because their friend is on there, but may be missing out on some really fun times PvPing or raiding with the alternate faction. This is a nice and simple point, but go on a WoW guild website and see if there's a faction-specific guild that may waver your choice. And for the final thought as to what to roll in WoW, I would say both factions. I personally roll the Horde, but getting to see both stories and the different aspects of each faction is far superior than just seeing one in my opinion. With that being said, again, sorry for the upload delay. Videos will come out as usual. Leave me a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more WoW content, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.